flash across the widget. Now, this sounds really great, but if you think about it, a social networking site like Facebook has a lot of people. I have about, I think, 300-400 people on my account. Now, if those 304 people were armed with a virtual yard sign, they could raise me money, just like Obama did. And Obama encouraged them by giving tools to the people. And so he empowered his campaign. That's what we're proposing with local campaigns. Next slide, please. So in this widget, one of the key components is the viral market component, or the spiral market component, being able to automatically install it. With me is Chairman Saul from Michigan GOP, who's also, can I say that you're heading he's heading the chair of the Technology Committee for the Republican National Committee, also ran as national chairman. He was former chairman at the Michigan GOP. We also have Justin Hart, who's actually the general consulting for Chuck DeVore, who's running a campaign for United States Senator in California. And, forgive me.
Mark.
Thank you. And give your title real quickly.
I was the Deputy National Security Advisor, Deputy National Security Advisor from 2007 to 2009.
And both of these three gentlemen will talk about their applications. Would you guys like to see how this works?
Sure.
All right, sounds good. Next slide. So automatically in our platform called myelectionlaw.com, we're all a la carte. So what we've done is that the campaigns come. Some of them might have a website, some of them might have fundraising, some of them might have email. So the campaigns change, and every country is completely different. Every campaign's at a different level. They've already spent money, they've already spent resources, and they also have different needs. So you can access all of these tools from the one simple platform called myelectionlaw.com. Next slide. And so this is an example, and I'll turn it over to Justin, and he can talk about Representative Chuck DeVore's campaign for U.S. Senate in California. Yeah, please keep in mind we're nonpartisan.
No, this is a real exciting time for us. Obviously, we're an underdog candidate fighting against Barbara Boxer in 2010, three-term incumbent senator there in California. Chuck DeVore is a three-time assemblyman. And so how do we get a no-name candidate to really make some prowess there? Well, we're using the tools that Election Law has provided us to engage in social media in a unique way. In January, we won the Shorty Award for Best Political Use of Twitter by integrating our donation engine into that. And it was only because of the openness that we have from Election Law that we were able to do that in a unique way. We've also, as you can see on the front page of our website, included this Money Bomb widget. Now, I want you to know that this is just a screenshot. I just went back to it, and we've raised over $4,000 today just off of this one widget. We've just launched this out today. We've also included it on our Facebook page, and have encouraged people to encourage it. It appears exactly as you see it here. Now, what's neat about that is that there's a consistency. If you can understand that it takes a lot of development dollars to not only create a Flash widget like this, but also to create the Facebook application that goes with it. And so you have a consistency of administrative overhead that you don't have to worry about changing on this end and changing it on that end. A typical rollout for a Facebook application can be weeks and months. And we were able to do this customized. I think I actually just changed the graphics and uploaded a few things, and it took me relatively about an hour. And so it's a real turnkey solution that I really enjoy. The ability to customize the back end. So in about a couple hours here, we're going to realize that we're going to pass that goal. So we're able to go back into that widget and change the parameters and say, okay, now the goal is 30K, and we'll try to get that before tomorrow's FEC deadline at the end of the month there as well. And the ability to change the graphical look and feel. As you can see, this is a different widget than the one that we showed previously there as well. Just to give you an idea of how we've used Election Law tools in our online campaign, I mentioned our Tweet for Chuck, which is tweetforchuck.com. It's a place where you can make a donation online and it'll tweet out there. And we used Election Law's email technology along with other tools that they provided to really ramp up and complement that campaign of making online Twitter donations to Chuck DeVore. Eventually that landed us on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. And so we only raised maybe $2,000, $3,000 on that first initial campaign back earlier here in the year. But I can't put a dollar figure on a front page article with my candidate's face and dot matrix there. And we won the Shorty Award, as I mentioned, for this political use. More important than the Wall Street Journal, more important than the Shorty Award. Next slide, please. I got my candidate's picture with MC Hammer at the Twitter place. I think we've won the race already. We're feeling pretty good about that. But again, how do you take a no-name candidate who's running up against a solid incumbent and getting the promise that the internet had, which is really taking technologies and companies that can compete with each other on a grand scale, even though they may be small and insignificant in David and Goliath scenarios. and using election wall technology to make that happen.
Sure. Any questions for Justin? Okay, we'll save it for we'll let Chairman Saul talk about what's happening at the state party level. Please keep in mind that when we think of politics, we're not just thinking from candidates. I know everyone thinks of the presidential election cycle, but if we're saying every day is a campaign, Election Mall right now, as of even yesterday, has actively 257 campaigns engaging in these tools. That's amazing. We've never seen this. And someone who's been tracking this industry since 2000, it's mind-boggling. And so one of the things that we're excited about is the county organizations, the state level organizations. And as I said, Saul was a former Michigan GOP and heading up as chairman of the technology committee for the Republican National Committee, and also, by the way, ran as national chairman for the nomination against Steele as well. So.
Well, my name is Saul Anuzis, and for the last 4 years I served as chairman of Michigan. We hooked up with Election Mall a couple years ago, similar to what Minnesota is doing up on the webpage there. Actually, our page that Election Mall prepared was nominated for a Poly Award, and we were up for that. We used it very effectively and thought it was a great tool. When I presented it to my executive committee, I basically said that what Election Mall was able to do was democratize the process of democracy. They made it so affordable so that we could literally go in there in Michigan. We have 83 counties across the state, and we set up separate web pages for all 83 counties integrated into our statewide web page that for the first time ever allowed instantaneous access for everybody who wanted to get involved on the Republican side, at least politically. So they could click on a county, pulled up who their executive committee was, showed them a calendar of events, click on another page, make a local contribution that didn't have to go through the state party, and it went locally to local candidates, local county parties. So for us, that was a big accomplishment, and many of our local parties who had never had any web presence were extremely pleased. Just to give you an example, Michigan, which is one of the target states in the country and oftentimes a battleground state, literally 2 of our 83 county chairs won't even give out their phone number. So to have a web page up and to have that presence is extremely important. We've also used it with state representative, county commission candidates. We worked with Election Mall to make some simple templates so that every candidate, for a very reasonable price, we were between $79 for certain candidates and $99 for other candidates, and literally they had a web presence and an ability to make contributions. So having the ability to go down at that cost and make it affordable for everybody to have all the tools that are available to a presidential campaign, in literally at the Election Mall, and you can pick them a la carte, you can decide what you want to do. I think from our standpoint, one of the most successful tools. They've got a great email platform that we have used extensively. Great analytics. It gives us an idea of who's opening what for how reason, how quickly, at what time. Allowed us to adjust our campaign from a party standpoint. And I know many of the Democrats are using it the same way, but it's a tool. It's a great tool that we've used. And again, to me, the most important part is it was affordable, it was quick, it was easy, and everybody was able to click into it as quickly as possible.
Thank you, Chairman. One of the things that we've been able to do is that I also talked to Chairman Brian Colon just recently this morning as well, and unfortunately his executive director couldn't join us here, but New Mexico Democrats have just recently launched a campaign as well using a similar widget too. New Mexico, as many of you know, went from red to blue as well. They made a big significant investment in infrastructure, in technology, and they didn't have a lot of money to start off with. Again, I always give the analogy that we're sort of giving a good engine, and everyone can paint the race color whatever color they want, but our engine doesn't die down. You know, we're all the way until the very final lap. So that's what we're doing here in New Mexico as well. Next slide, please. All right. We did international.
So, thank you, Ravi. My name is Mark Feitley. I was the Deputy National Security Advisor for Strategic Communications and Global Outreach from 2006